What is going on, good people? Hey, happy Friday. For those of you that are quarantined that may not know, today actually is Friday. It is the 1st of May. And coming back at you once again with the Unsung Leader Leadership Nugget. Um, Quick story that just happened to me. Came back into my office, but I just had to exchange some paperwork with another person, and not really recognizing or understanding or remembering, about the protocols about shaking hands. You would have thought this dude pulled out a gun, a knife, or something to hurt me because he reached his hand out there to shake my hand, and the quivers in my heart when I just, huh? Man, I ain't never in my life been scared of a handshake before. I just thought that was just an interesting caveat to start the day. Um, but it's Friday, and I wanted to talk. Continuing on with the series about managing your emotions, managing your energy levels. As it pertains to your emotions. One of the things that we have to be aware of as leaders is how everything affects us. And consequently, every Friday, when I was chief of the boat, when I was, on a good ship Helen as the Cobb, every Friday I would leave work and I would stop by the mini mart and I would grab me an ice cream sandwich, and I would listen to Prince, because you can't be upset if you listen to Prince and eat an ice cream at the same time. Just something to think about. Anyway, so little thing that I would do, kind of ritualistically. Well, there's one point where we had some training that lasted a little bit longer throughout the week, and so I ended up being on the boat a little bit longer than usual, and went up to the schoolhouse. And once we got done with training, I decided, well, it's still Friday, I'm still go and get me an ice cream, even though I still got to go back to work. So I went to go grab an ice cream, listen to Prince, went back down to the boat, and I had to brief my CO on a couple of things, and I could not form a sentence. I could not form a sentence. Not a coherent grouping of words that another human could understand. Like, it was the weirdest thing that I could, because typically being able to communicate is a strength for me, so that has never been an issue. So it made me start to think about, okay, what in the world did I do different that day that made that occur? So the next day, the next Monday, I was like, well, let me recreate the situation. So I went and got ice cream, same thing, and when you know it, not being able to be as coherent, as cognitively aware as I normally am, which led me to to understand that even though I'm slightly lactose intolerant. Some cheeses do more. Typically okay with ice cream, just not too much. But being slightly lactose intolerant directly affected my cognitive ability, and I wouldn't have known it. I there's no way I can quantify, how far down the spectrum as it pertains to IQ I went because I ate ice cream, but it was definitely noticeable. Um, so it was something that I added to my leadership repertoire to make sure that I understood not only what I was listening to, what I was seeing, but also what I was consuming as far as food, and how that affected my ability to lead, how that affected my ability to be an effective speaker, because huge part of my job is being able to be a moderately effective speaker, and that requires you to be able to form thoughts and be slightly coherent so other humans can understand you. So, and that also diminishes your energy levels as well. And like I said, I just wasn't aware. So I challenge you over the course of this weekend, over the course of this week, to recognize how certain foods degrade your cognitive ability, especially if you have allergies, especially for personnel out there that may have a resistance to gluten and things of that nature, and you're still kind of doing it because you don't want to get it out of your diet. You'll be surprised by how that affects your leadership ability and your ability to be present, to be cognitively aware, and just be at your best, right? Because this is really what this is all about. This is really about putting things in place that allow you to be at your best, right? That's really the things that I've done in my careers that allowed me to bring the best possible Armand, to whatever situation. And this is what this boils down to. But still, just know it's Friday, and when I leave work, I'm going to have an ice cream sandwich, and I'm going to listen to Prince because that's just what I do. So I'm going to continue this series. I'm going more into our physiology and how that affects your energy levels, how that affects your ability to lead, how that affects your ability to bring forward your best self in a leadership posture. Because this leadership thing is kind of hard. It's kind of hard. They don't see a lot of that in the books and the TED Talks or whatever. But this leadership thing can get painful, especially when you start to find out that the limitations and the hindrances to your leadership ability start and end with you. It becomes painful when you gotta look in the mirror and start addressing some of your own limitations. But trust me, it's worth it. You'll be better for it at the end. Happy Friday. Peace.